Happy New Year, Randy.
How was your New Year's
Man, it was
Eve?
incredible. It was in the middle of the week, right?
Yeah.
We didn't do nothing.
Really?
I didn't hear about anybody getting gigs, so it was a bunch of musicians off. So me and Danimal and Martelli, we just hung out
That's cool. Where'd y'all go?
at the house.
At the house?
At the house.
Nice. dude.
Yeah, first
Just
time, I
jamming,
think,
huh?
first time in about at least a decade for any three of us to not work on New Year's.
Really? Wow, that's cool.
How about you?
I was good. I spent New Year's traveling, so I was on the road between here and Canada. Went on a family vacation to go skiing.
You just got back.
Just got back, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we spent New Year's Eve like in Canmore, Alberta, trying to find a quick place to eat after been traveling for all day long.
Well, how's New Year's in Canada? Well, they do anything different?
It's good. No, I didn't notice anything
Nothing different. No, just a good old.
just good old New
Everybody
Year's.
celebrating the same way.
Everybody having a good time. I mean, it's a little snowier, you know.
Absolutely. How
And,
much snow did you get while you were up
We
there?
had good snow. We had snow for a couple of days while we were up there, but you know, it's the freaking Canadian Rockies, so like snow is every drizzle is
Right.
anything.
Right.
You know, is 2 inches of snow. So
Did you catch any music?
no, not at all.
Okay.
We were. I mean, it was just pretty much
Music at the mountains.
slopes all day,
That's it.
and then get
That's
home and
it.
be like, hey, let's play cards because this is like the first time we've had. You know, I have 2 kids.
Right.
My kids are getting to the age of
Right.
going on vacations or together are kind of coming to the end. You know what I
Yes.
mean?
And even when you go together, they're always doing something, you know? So, yeah.
So I'm, you know, we had a good time, but it was really more about let's play cards, let's hang out together, let's do that kind
Mhm.
of stuff. So now no live shows. But yeah, it's a good vacation. It's nice to have the new year started. I have been looking forward to being back here. Honestly, like for the last 2 days, I've just been thinking about stuff I've got to do.
Right.
I don't know how you are, but right now is a busy, busy time when it comes to the 2026 year.
Yeah.
What happens is, it seems to me like managers, booking agents, anybody you want to email or talk
Right.
to takes from the middle of December until the first week of January basically off.
Y-
So you really can't move
You're-
anything forward.
And you're exactly right. I mean, like January. I find that right about July time is when I need to start looking at December
Yeah.
and January and February. Like right in the height of the energetic push of the music industry in the middle of the summer. Start looking right
Yeah.
about that time because you'll catch yourself as a musician in the middle of the winter with nothing to do, and that's not where you want to be.
For sure.
You know, so it's really cool because I've been in the same mode, planning tours and like trying to get booking for, Folk Fest. I'm going up to Juneau trying to get rooms and everything.
Nice.
That's not happening. None of that booking is happening. No matter how much initiative I give it on November,
yeah.
nobody's going to hit you up until January
Yeah.
6th, 7th, and 8th.
Yeah.
Like that's when everybody's like, all right, I'm back. We're looking at the
yeah,
schedule.
yeah.
We're done with. So it's a very much a crazy time, you know. So
That's me this morning. I mean, I was like, I think 5 or 6 different gigs that we've been working or talking about happening for the spring through the summer. All of a sudden now everybody wants details and everybody wants to work stuff out. You're like, oh, snap, man. I
Right.
just got home from snowboarding.
well, and a great thing to remember when you're just got home from snowboarding, you're in the middle of that, is if I can stresslessly dedicate this time during the winter just to getting these logistics figured out, the springtime's you're downhill.
Yeah.
You're downhill. So it's really about how much you can wrangle your mind into, getting down, sitting down at the desk or the coffee shop or getting on the phone, whatever. And thank goodness for musicians, we have a lot of drive time. So
Yeah,
that's
for
when we
sure.
can get a lot of our, stuff done. So,
What do you do in your drive time? Do you do
well, a lot of times, so I don't listen to music
really?
when I ride. I usually am sitting in silence, listening for songs that I'm writing, because my process is I just listen. I don't ever get pen to paper unless
I
it's
got you.
absolutely necessary, and then get those calls made for the next gig, right? And then once I get a call for the next gig for the next couple weeks and make sure everybody's set, then we're looking 3-4 months down the road.
Nice.
Taking
So
that.
you physically call people?
I love it.
Really?
It was something that was taught to me in my early 20s. Stay on the phone, stay in people's minds, be present in their life. But if they're a texter, like you and I text a lot because that's the way we communicate. Know the communication of the musician and kind of jump to that. But if you want to get on the same page real quick, give a phone call.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know?
That's interesting.
So
I've always had, and then this is just me.
Yeah.
I think it's just because I'm forgetful. But I've always had issues if I book gigs over the phone, because something happens and then I forget to write it down.
Yes.
And then that's a nightmare. Look, I'll give you a secret. If you have musicians, friends in your life, and you ever want to scare the crap out of them, at like 7 o'clock on a Friday, text them and be like, "Where are you at?"
Yeah.
Because every musician,
That's right.
That's right, has had that feeling where you're like, "Oh my God, am I supposed to be somewhere?" And then all of a sudden you start looking through your emails and texting, and you're like, "I am supposed to be somewhere."
Yachty did that to me one time. I woke up on a Friday and he said, "So what time we showing up today?" And I called him, hot sweat. Because I get sweat when I wake up, and I wake up at noon, right? I'm a late riser, so like I'll wake up to business being done since 8 a.m. So you got to catch up in that first hour. So I remember he was like, "Hey, when we showing up today?" I called him. I said, "Man, I have no idea what you're talking about." He said, "No, I just wanted to talk to you real quick, get you. I knew you would call me right back." If I told you that.
That is a good way to make a musician call you right back. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yachty Westfield, classic.
Yachty Westfield, yeah.
But yeah, this, like, it happens to me today, just in the process of going about the morning. It seems like it was 3 or 4 different details of 3 or 4 different gigs all of a sudden coming through. This needs to happen, or we got to do this, or I need a writer for this. And then a couple other concerts and stuff that I'm helping out with on the other side. That's not even a musician thing. I'm just helping on the production side. All of it just seems like it waits. Like, it just waits, for like January the 5th or 6th, and then when all of a sudden it's just hitting.
Well, and when he said writer, what he's talking about, writer is something that, like, is the next level of the live show. So, like, you've got your booking, you've got what time you need to be there, you've got who's opening, you've got if you're opening, you've got what your stage plot looks like. But then you've got a writer saying, "Hey, if I show up to your place, this is what I'm going to need from you."
Yeah.
So like that's where it gets interesting. I need 4 chairs because there are 4 of us. I need. You see some of these writers, and if you want a really entertaining afternoon, look up Writer, R-I-T-E-R, right?
No, it's R-I-D-E-R.
R-I-D-E-R, Writer. It's what basically, like, and it shows you. I've never made one of these in my life, but this is what I need. I need a cooler full of drinks. This is what I need to get the show going. And where it seems kind of ridiculous, where you see some bands saying, "I only want green M&Ms" or whatever.
Yeah.
That's so that, I didn't know, but that's so that to make sure people are reading the writer. So when you have somebody call you after you've made a writer and say, "Hey man,"
it was like a famous band that did that, right?
Yeah, it was like
Van Halen or something
like that. And then when they would get a call, "Hey man, we can't do the green M&Ms," they're like, "Oh, so glad you read it. We just love M&Ms. We'll take them." And so it's just fast. That's a whole subculture of musician life that I've not even gotten into yet. Didn't even know how to spell it.
Luckily, I'm dealing with bluegrass musicians, so the writers are pretty easy.
That's it. That's right.
But I've seen some pretty wild ones, and he's right. If you Google, like, wild band writer or anything like that,
not with a W, with an R,
you'll see some good examples.
Well, I know. So, for example, like Dave Matthews has the best catering of any band that I've ever seen.
Really?
But he also has a certain specific number of chairs that he needs, and I always thought that was really, really over the top. And then I realized a lot of times you don't have a place to sit unless you claim a place to sit backstage. So like little things like that I don't even think about. That's fascinating to me.
Yeah, for sure.
Super
definitely.
fascinating.
It is interesting how it goes on different levels and different musical styles and musical genres. So I've been doing some things for like a couple of solo folk things, and the solo folk writers are really kind of funny.
Really?
Because they are like, they're super easy. It's like a room to lock my instruments in, and on that end, right? If they don't really want anything on that end,
right?
And then on the other end, it's like some weird vegan, something or other that I don't know how to get, or that's going to be a hard, like, okay, I got to Google this or call someone younger and smarter than me.
Well, that seems like it seems like a solo folk kind of like super specific, personality driven. I need the Whole Foods, wild rice and chicken soup. kind of thing.
It is funny. What do you want on stage? A microphone.
That's it.
Microphone.
And it kind of shows you what a writer does is it kind of shows you the personality of the group before they even come.
That is very true.
Right?
That is very true.
So it shows you a lot about, like, because I've filled writers.
Yeah.
I've never written one, but I've been the guy that gets the call. One time we got a call here, and it was a country music guy. And Brian said, hey, man, we need 4 bags of beef jerky. It's on his writer. And so I just ran down, threw some bags,
Perfect.
So it's like, it's so interesting how those things go and how it can, you've really got a guy driving around all day getting snacks.
Yeah, for real. There's
for the
somebody
band
who's doing that. Yeah.
It's amazing. I never knew that, until a long time ago. And in Nashville, about specific things, there are certain guys that they call for certain things to deliver those things to the green room.
Yeah, usually there's like the weed guy.
Right. And I didn't know pardon me, but I didn't know Exit in the 70s had a guy that if you needed smack, it was coming to the back, that was the guy. It was like the sanctioned guy for the whole city. So there's a lot of history just in the writer. Well, one thing that is interesting is how many songs you choose when you go in the studio.
Yeah.
Because there's this is very interesting. There are a lot of things to talk about here. The advent of the single, how you don't have to have an album anymore.
Definitely.
Like you really don't have to do anything. There's no format. It's all been thrown out.
Everything. Yeah.
Like there's not a 45. Nobody's doing that. Nobody's doing an EP solely.
It really is only like if you want a Grammy, that's the only thing you can do an album.
Right.
Other than that, that's the only people who are making requirements on music anymore.
Right.
Everything else is
and what I find with Grammy nominated albums is you have to have Grammy nominated people. So it comes into this competition game of who I got to produce my album, and it really gets to a place of like, are we really allowed our own authentic choices within the music business, or are there specific people designated to receive those accolades on a consistent basis?
Yeah.
Because I know plenty of people that are very talented that never get Grammy.
Yeah, I know, but yeah, for sure, definitely.
Right.
I think it's just like anything, it's kind of a little bit of it's definitely more of a recording industry thing.
Mm-hmm.
But in bluegrass, I definitely see some people, it's funny, like the level of musician, it's not, because bluegrass has been so small for so long, we got basically one stadium level musician, and that's kind of it. Everything else is basically theater crowds, which is great, or festivals. But because it's smaller, you can actually know people who win Grammys as opposed to like, Gwen Stefani, who I'm never going to meet. Right. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I love that about bluegrass in the sense that it is community driven. Yeah. That keeps the ego out of it a lot.
Yeah, for sure.
Because with production, how much production are you going to need on, like, are you really going to reinvent the wheel on bluegrass? Or are you going to give the traditional presentation where that's going to receive? It's so interesting how like tradition and innovation. Yeah. That's just, it's really, those are the two sides of everything, really. Yeah. And so it's fascinating to watch that. It's also fascinating that when you get in the studio, before you make noise, sit in silence and listen to the pressures that I've just received just from hanging out with people. Really? Like certain things, this album has to sound a certain way, or, well, if it's not going to be this, then I don't want to do this. Rather than just like trusting the process, trusting your process, trusting what you hear in your mind, is a pretty fascinating thing, because I've just sat here and supported everybody writing their albums, being in groups, because I didn't want the focus to be on me or whatever. And there comes a time in a musician's development where you have to ask yourself, okay, am I going to play my music? Am I going to play somebody else's music? Am I going to double down on this authentic expression, or are there avenues in which like my passion is more monetarily appreciated? Because I still got to pay rent.
I think so in the studio, are you thinking about those specific songs? Are you thinking like this is one I think I can pay the light bill with?
Never.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, on original music, like that money and monetary gain, I'll tell you, with music, the most successful thing that I could possibly be is of service.
Yeah. Yeah.
If we really want to cook it down, I want to influence culture.
Yeah.
I want to influence the life of a musician, you know, and anything else beyond that's fine. But like, we have to recenter what it means to live the life of a musician. I think that we're watching that kind of being tossed up in the air right now.
Yeah, I think so too.
Right? Because we're kind of held to a higher standard than we were 10 years ago.
What do you mean?
In the sense of like showing up professionally and at shows and like being on time and like,
yeah, in that sense I agree.
Something's changing. Now, I'm not saying that like while the professional presentation is changing, we're being given more freedom on the sonic end than we've ever. Dude, I could make an album with just synths, drums, and me singing, and okay, you know, it's not reinventing the wheel. It's not. Yeah. It's just a fantastic time to be alive as a musician. You're full permission to do whatever you want.
Yeah. I think I think the reason why you see people having to be doing more professional, but like booking their own shows, and just like we're talking about filling out their own riders, which used to be something that you would only some band manager did for, you know, after you had your third video, then, you know what I mean, which is different now, but that's just the way it used to be. Everybody has to step into those roles now because money's tighter everywhere. People, I mean, we having to trim the fat on this whole every music production almost as down as you can, just because money is so tight. Budgets are so thin, and it doesn't take but just one small little thing to happen, and then next thing you know, you're upside down, and this whole show
ideas shelved and
everything, or ends up costing you a ton of money. Anyway,
and you're working with so many personalities while you do it too.
Yeah.
And a lot of times that's why I think it's important. And I'm not, dude, the guys that are playing in the projects that I'm in, everything, are not slouches.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
And the reason why I'm playing with all the people I'm playing is the personality of the player. Has nothing to do, like, sadly to say, it has nothing to do with how you sound. Never has for me.
I think that's a lot. That's the way it is a lot.
Yeah.
It's about the hang.
It's about, and that's one thing that I've been telling musicians. Before you practice, before you just get your hang down, know what you're about, know how to talk to people, know how to like jam. People are all about jamming musically. Know how to jam conversationally. Know how to answer a question, make eye contact, be positive, be in a terrible situation on the road and make the best of it.
Yeah.
Like, to me, that's way more important.
Yeah.
You know, because like you said, we're going to be stuck somewhere and something's going to happen, and it could either flip the whole thing on its end or make this project into something that's fantastic. And with that comes the idea of the heart of the musician, knowing the budget isn't there.
Yeah, for sure.
Right? Like, I'm paying my guys this weekend as well as I can and doing, you know, if more than, you know, I think more than I would charge, you know. But just to kind of reinstill that faith of like, the musician is worth it. And I would rather come out of my pocket more to make sure that is, you know, seen. You know? Just like you, a lot of times, you know, like you and I have said, the band gets paid before I get paid.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, every time. So I think that's important as well. And when you're getting in the studio, having just real quick, have the names of your songs, how fast, the beats per minute it needs to be.
Yeah.
The key of the song and the lyrics written out. If you can have all of that, it makes everything so much easier.
Yeah.
You know, where a lot of people get in the studio with an idea, and I'm glad that David Byrne can do that. But David Byrne had a lot of studio time with the Talking Heads to write Remain in Light, you know?
For sure,
and it's like, that doesn't exist anymore. No. Nobody's giving you their studio. That does not exist.
Or it's the other way around.
Right.
If you have your own studio, you have your own thing. I mean, you can do a studio on a laptop, pretty cheap one, you know, these days.
Mm-hmm. And
then you have all the time you want. And
if
you can do whatever.
If you really want a good studio, go to the Chattanooga Public Library as well.
Chattanooga's chock full of great studios.
Yeah,
there's no doubt about it.
Like, insane. So, yeah, that the preparation of having things to start a tour. Well, first you gotta do an album.
Yeah.
You know, you got to do at least a few songs.
Yeah.
Because I've done songs with other people, and that just hasn't. On an EPK, that really doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Like it can say featuring Joel 4 lines all at once.
Yeah, I mean, literally every booker, they hit your Spotify. It's
Right.
like Instagram, Spotify.
Right.
That's the first things they look at.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody hates. I hate to say that.
Yeah.
Everybody hates that. That's the way it is, but
Mhm.
that's just the way it is.
And being completely candid, a lot I am behind, quote unquote, of the trajectory of the music business and what's hip and what you need and all that kind of stuff. I have to swallow my pride a lot. I have a lot of ego around the way things are
Yeah.
and why they shouldn't be that way.
Really.
So screw that.
Oh, yeah.
Right? That shouldn't be that way. So screw that. Like, I'm not going to, well, you shouldn't have to record, blah, blah, blah. And then I'll get in my little high
Yeah.
horse, right? Then my voice comes in and goes, you've done a great job of separating yourself
Yeah.
from every musician in the process.
Yeah.
Like, take the step, because by doing that, you're not saying that's okay to the system. You're just saying, hey, you know what? I'm willing to do what I need to do to be in community with my musicians. And I'm not sitting here recording an album or trying to, but authentically, how can I move in this framework? If that takes a little longer for me, so be it, because it's authentic.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know? So I'm trying to remove the pressure that you feel from this is how things are done.
Yeah.
It's
How's it
interesting.
going? You feel like you're doing it? You just aired a bunch of it out. You feel
Yeah.
like it. You do that in your head. You do that outside your head.
Conversation with you. Also, like, when you don't know what to do, just be in service of your community. So, like, when I don't know what to do with music, just help somebody, and the music always makes sense right after that, you know? So that's the best way to do it. It's just frustrating, man. It's so frustrating. the whole system. The whole system.
Let me sense your frustration, or let's parse that frustration.
Yeah, let's do it.
It's definitely the frustration with the music industry or the system or all that stuff really happens. It seems like it's a pretty easy scapegoat for a lot of people to jump into, and it's not because it's not real. It's definitely real, and it definitely does affect people. So, but I wonder if, just like we've talked about before, expectations aren't really what drives people's frustrations with what the music industry is and can be. Because, truthfully, you're supposed to. I mean, you're playing music. You're
Right.
You're not solving fission,
Right.
or problems. You're playing music.
Right.
It's a good time.
Yeah.
You're having a good time.
Right.
If you're all in all, you're entertaining people.
Mhm.
It's entertainment at the very core.
Mhm.
That's really what you're trying to do. Is I'm trying to entertain
right.
one audience member each time.
That's right.
So putting like all this huge amount of stress about how much money you can make or how much you can do or how popularity you can get or any of that stuff seems to me to be against the idea of just trying to entertain somebody, right?
Right, yeah.
Like you're just trying to entertain.
Yeah.
You're not really, you put all this pressure on yourself to be a version of whatever you think you should be.
Right.
You feel it. I could tell you the minute you can feel it. Every musician who's listening
Right.
to this can tell you the minute you feel
Right.
it. When that red light goes on in the studio and for the first or second time and you're in there
Yeah.
and you feel it, you're like, oh man, this is a ton of pressure
Yeah.
all of a sudden,
Yeah.
right? Because there's that guy, that now there's more than just one person depending on me to, nail this part.
Yeah, right. All right, here it is. Whether we mean to or not, collective experience creates a blueprint for execution. So if 1,000 people do it one way, right? What we're going to do as musicians, 1,000 is we're going to find what worked with all of those. Okay, there's the system.
Yeah.
There's the theory. There's what works. Just like what we did with music theory. And I'm not saying that there's a problem with it, right?
No, I'm listening
But
to you.
when we do that, we're once again systematically indoctrinating musicians, just like any other system of belief does, to tell people what is success and what is not.
Yeah.
And what I am trying to do is turn that off
Yeah.
and listen to this.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Listen to what I know works for me.
Yeah.
Because, and here's a great way where we can segue, is that worst case scenario, if I need a specific emotion, there's already been a song written for it.
Yeah.
So the pressure's off.
Yeah.
You got your message.
Yeah.
What is your message? Well, it's not everybody else's message. So I feel like within that time of recording, what you're doing is you're listening, the ability to listen to your own voice and give yourself internal permission to exist.
Yeah.
And then the pressure is off when you know that a lot of musicians, even in a set, well, if I don't have that emotion, I can play Loser by Jerry Garcia Band. I can play There'll Be Days Like This by Van Morrison. Like I can identify those things.
Yeah.
So if something happens, so giving yourself permission for your own emotions, for your own thoughts and your own ideas, but in order to do that, you kind of have to turn off everything else.
Mm-hmm.
So where there is that side of things, then they're finding authenticity within your own music and understanding that all the notes have already been played. So you're not coming up with any original ideas. Well, then there's the other side of that is in my life, and that's playing cover songs, right? I was standing with a guy. It's so funny because you texted me last night about just cover bands. And I was talking to a musician last night at the Open Jam. Oh. And he said, no prompts. He just said, man, I'm just trying to find my voice because, I've never learned a cover song, is what this person said. I've never learned a cover song, and I'm not going to learn one. And that's great. And I told the person, I said, man, that's awesome. And I told him my story. I said, man, I was 22 years old, and I swore I'd never play a cover song. Yeah. I swore to my mentor, swore up and down. And then he stopped me and said, hey, man, that's awesome. And you have written original music. How many songs you written now? And I gave him the number. He was beefing me up, Well, man, you really have written all those, haven't you, man? All the lyrics, too. You haven't used anybody else. No, I haven't used anybody else.
Yeah,
oh, okay.
Yeah.
You grew up in church, didn't you? Yeah. So you never played any of those hymns? I said, no, I grew up playing those hymns. He said, sounds like cover songs to me.
Yeah.
And I went. He said, and he looked at me. He said, everybody has a songbook that they draw from. And he said, and people choose to honor those songs that they came from so much to where they put their own spin on it.
Yeah.
And dude, it took me 6 years to really hear that.
Really?
And then I got to Chattanooga, started playing brunch, started playing in Chance in the Void, started playing in St. Owsley, playing all these cover songs I'd never play. And so I think that's with a lot of people jumping out to do this, original music. A lot of the people that are doing that original music, I hear a lot of talks about cover bands.
Yeah,
right?
you hear definitely.
And so that was something that you brought to the table. And I find that to be very interesting because I think we've been on both sides of that, have we not?
Well, what I was thinking about yesterday, I was thinking that you and I are probably on the same side of this.
Yes.
And we're probably on the minority. Okay. Right? I think that the minority musicians feel that way in this town. And that is, like, I think cover bands are great. I think there's a reason. I think they're a strong part of the scene. Tribute bands are actually help us determine and help strengthen our scene altogether. And for some people, that's going to be a real hard pill to take or swallow. Or
I can hear it on the other side of the camera. I can feel people pausing it and taking a second to walk around. Yeah.
And I play half covers, half originals in every set I've done for a long, long time. I have no problems with covers whatsoever. Cover bands, tribute bands, in bluegrass you just have to do covers. There's no way. If you're like, hey, I'm gonna do my all original bluegrass set, you're gonna be playing to 10 people because everybody is expecting a couple of standards, what I mean? Or at least for you to be able to play them. That's kind of how everybody judges.
And I like what you said. Standards. Yeah. Bluegrass has standards, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Jazz has standards, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So why can't rock and roll
I think rock and
and
roll
jam
does
band
have stuff.
music?
I think it does.
There we go.
I think it does. I
Yeah.
definitely think
Have
it
you
does.
ever? And here's the thing about those tribute groups or cover bands, and there is a difference.
Yeah.
You know, the tribute, it seems like they've got the dress, they've got the vibe, they know everything about the artist, they're doing some of the moves. And then the cover bands, it seems to me, and maybe I got them mixed up, but there's one that they'll just play the songs like they feel they should be played.
Yeah.
And then there are actual tribute bands like Dark Star Orchestra, for example, with the Grateful Dead.
Yeah.
They play specific shows that the Grateful Dead has played, right?
Really?
With like the lineup and there was, and Bobby forgot a lyric here. And
Yeah.
that kind
Really?
of thing. Yes.
Because I've always thought it was the other way around. Because I always thought that cover bands covered more than one band, and tribute bands covered one band.
See, that might be it.
That's what I've always thought the difference was cover bands did more than one band and tribute bands did. Now, I've also heard the same tribute bands do note for note, cover bands don't, cover bands do whatever, right?
Right.
But tribute bands have to play note for note.
Right.
But like, I'm thinking of a couple off the top of my head. I've seen End of the Line play.
Yes.
And they're a fantastic
Allman Brothers
tribute band. I mean, they're so great. And I played with them. And those guys, they consider themselves a tribute band, but I don't think they're note for note. But they do play pretty close a lot. I mean, they do. But I mean, the Allman Brothers was all about improvising, and I think they kind of keep that spirit as a part of their thing. But to circle back around on just a quick point on, I stated earlier that I think it's a sign, like that cover bands and tribute bands locally are a sign of a good music economy in the town, and that there's, right? I remember going to Asheville 15 years ago to do a thing, and we showed up at a place at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and it was the 4:30 Friday Grateful Dead cover band time, and I was like, this is crazy. They packed the place out. Everybody got off work and just went running down there, right? That's, to me, is like proof of that, you know, there's live music fans coming, and it's part of the economy. There's a band playing here at Songbirds just next door, in, I believe it's this weekend, and they're called Chelsea Drugstore.
Okay.
And they're local Rolling Stone cover band.
Wow.
Or tribute band, or whatever it is, right? I noticed a couple of familiar original musician faces in those bands. You know what I mean? Just like people would notice A Chance in the Void, they go to see A Chance in the Void, they're going to notice that it's a way for original musicians to make money that isn't cutting grass or, you know, waiting tables or whatever. It's another way to make money playing music
without making money playing other people's music. I would not have the ability to pay rent in this town. So like to me, it's kind of a no-brainer. If you as a music fan want more original music, show up to original music shows.
Yeah.
Because I can play all the Joel Four-line shows I want, but there's still going to be more people out there for brunch. There's still going to be more people. Like, it's at this point in my life, that's the way it is. So if the people that don't like cover bands and don't think that's a good thing for the scene, I encourage every musician that seriously doubts that they're good show up to the original live music shows. Because I've been to the original live music shows.
Sparse.
Do you see many musicians at live shows?
You don't see very many.
Do you see? Okay,
that's for sure.
And I just wanted to say that on no offense. True. Like, it's kind of like it's if we were all supporting each other and going to each other's shows, then we can start talking about what doesn't belong or that kind of thing. It's kind of like it.
Well,
I want to hear the Rolling Stones. I want to hear those. Those are hits. Yeah. Those are like, I want to hear them done well, because that is the foundation of all of the original music being written out here.
Yeah, true.
Grateful Dead, foundation. Talking Heads, foundation. Pink Floyd. I will continue. Allman Brothers. You know, I mean, you do not have any of that. So, Chattanooga, if you do not want your cover bands inundating and drowning out the original music, please show up to the shows.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, please, I would love nothing more than us to say, we have no place for cover groups because nobody's showing up. Everybody's showing up to Randy Steele.
Yeah.
Nobody's showing up. Like, I would love that.
Yeah.
But as of right now, the reason why I helped begin Chance in the Void, it was because nobody was showing up to my live shows.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's a great way to get people to come to your
That's
live
right.
shows.
Showing people what, and there's no there's no dissonance between me and the musician community or the audience. I have no qualms. I'm just presenting. That's why that happens.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
You know, I hate to say it. The reason why your favorite musician is on the road with a Talking Heads amazing tribute act is because they can't pay their bills playing authentic original music.
Yeah, yeah.
So
yeah,
it's
just
difficult. It needs to be said.
Yeah.
It has to be said. Like, you know, it's a necessary, and it's not an evil. It's a necessary component.
Yeah.
To the live music scene.
Yeah.
Because you're also showing people this is what I'm about. You know, like this is when I go into a city, we're playing Jerry Garcia music. We're able to play stuff that nobody's ever played before. Nobody's ever heard that before in that city, and so that's just an honor. That's just great.
Yeah, yeah.
Because people would not be able to hear Jerry Garcia band live any other way now.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
And so it's very important. It's just the legacy, the tradition, and I was in a communication with a jazz player one time, and he said, "Man, I'm over here playing jazz, and you're over there paying your bills with Jerry Garcia music." I said, "Oh, so you're not playing standards?"
Yeah.
And he said, "Well, yeah, jazz standards." I said, "Well, these are hippie standards, brother."
Yeah.
I mean, like this is hippie jazz, my friend.
Yeah,
you know, and so it's like, and no qualms against that. It's like we're all just doing the best we can.
Yeah, for
and
sure.
Grateful Dead now is a genre.
Yeah, I mean,
Your jam band is a genre. So like, we're just trying to those of us that are a part of our respective genres, in order to move it forward, we need to play a Bill Monroe song.
Yeah,
right? We have to do that. Because we're setting the intention of this is where I come from. Now check out where I'm going.
Yeah,
you know? But
because I was on the road so much yesterday with my family, I talked with Christy quite a bit about this.
Nice.
Because my wife is a perfect example of the music fan. She's not really a music fan, honestly. Like she likes the 80s music, and she likes coming to shows with me, and she's learning how to play a couple things. But I wouldn't say without me, I don't think music would have played as big a role in her life as it has, right?
So you're saying that she's more into music as a connection between you two.
Well, that
strengthens that.
I would say more that she has what the average listener or average person who would come to the show, she's closer to that than she is to the musicians, which I get in an echo chamber when you get with a bunch of musicians and you're like, what do people want? Right. So you have to kind of look outside that a little bit, right? So
and she can play a mean stand-up bass.
Yeah. So we talked about cover bands because I know she loves tribute bands, and like I said, she loves 80s music. So she's if an 80s tribute band's coming or a cover thing, she's in.
Did she hate to miss the Bon Jovi tribute? Would she have been to that?
She's not metal 80s. She's more like pop, Cyndi Lauper, that kind of stuff.
Yes,
80s,
nice.
Those 80s.
Cool.
But so I asked her. We had a conversation about it, and given the choice between saying a good cover band of music that you already know, like whoever, or someone who is going to be they say that's going to be the next version of that tribute, right? So like if you're saying I'm going to go, let me just pick an artist. If you say I'm going to go see a Billy Joel tribute band, or this original artist who people are saying this could be the next Billy Joel.
Yeah,
right
Ben
here.
Stevens,
there
for
you
example.
Go, Ben Stevens. This is the next Billy Joel. This is our local version right here.
Yeah. Yellow Jacket Records.
50-50. Everything's the same. Your friends are going to each show. Which one do you go to? Right. And she said 9 times out of 10, I'm going to the cover band show because I'm familiar with the songs. And familiarity is what I want to be able to sing and dance. And she's like, I know how you guys are, because she's in the same boat. All the guys that she knows are musicians that are, thinking about it on our end. So she's thinking about it of guys as musicians, but there's just the same amount of guys who just want to go to shows and have a good time as there are, women, I believe. So I just thought that was really interesting, hearing how her take, mainly the word familiarity was the thing that stuck out to me. And then it just got my mindset like, how can I breed that familiarity in my own music so that people will show up and be like, yeah, you know.
Right.
I think I do have some of that with some of the people who are, you know, come to shows. I do have a bit of that, but I want to build that, you know what I mean? And I think that's something you learn. Like, that's what I mean. Like, if you're open, you're learning from the cover bands how to do that. You know, like you learn from the cover bands how to do that the right way.
That's right.
Because nobody is like Cassavac Chap, or that's a Fish cover band that's here in town.
Yeah.
They're not showing up and playing super hard Fish tunes that nobody knows.
Right.
They're playing the fun Fish songs
The fun
that everybody
Fish songs,
knows, you know, that they like playing because they're fun. So you learn, I mean, you kind of learn to pick and choose when you're not like, this song means so much to me because I wrote it in this point of my life, and it's this. And you can separate yourself from that and be like, what's entertaining? Like the heaviness that I attach to this song, how can I kind of pull that back and say, this is actually for them and not for me? And make it for them, you know, as opposed to, I wrote it for me, but how am I going to make it for you? I think learning from cover bands, you lose that. Like if you play in a cover band, you lose that where you're not like, we have to play this song. You know what I mean? I get that way with my original. Like, what if one person hadn't heard this song? I gotta play it, and that's going to be their favorite song forever. You know, at least you hope. You know.
Well, the pressure's off too, because like the producer isn't going to be sitting in the audience hearing you. No, I'm not trying to knock anybody, but I'll just put it in personal terms. Nobody's going to hear me sing West LA Fade Away and go, we're going to sign him right now. You know?
Yeah.
But like if I'm singing my song, somebody might be like, really connect with it.
Yeah.
You know? And so you kind of want, like, I want to give my abilities room to breathe.
Yeah.
But I also don't want to have just like you were talking about, an inaccurate depiction of what's actually happening. And like, truth be told, going back to what was said 9 times out of 10, I'm going to go to the, you know, tribute cover act. Okay, so there's 90% of the people that are going to go to that. That puts that much more emphasis on the 10% local support to go out to Yellow Jacket Records and see Ben Stevens. By the way, it was packed. You did great. But it shows the necessity. People are going to go with comfortable. They're going to go with familiar. They're going to go with easy. They're going to go with accessible.
Yeah.
You know, it's just got to be handed directly to them. You got to say on the poster what time the show starts, 4 different places.
Yeah.
You got to, you know, all these things. And so learning from like you were saying, the cover and tribute acts of, let me pull these people in. Well, one way that I've heard Strung Like a Horse did it, the cover was first. They always started with a cover that they knew everybody would like, pull them in, make it. And what that does is that really drops your ego too and shows, what am I really here to do? Am I to connect with these people?
Yeah.
Or am I here to present my own music? Because if so, that square peg in a round hole, just drive it right through, you know? But if you're here to connect to the people, there was a biker that came up to me and said, can you play Call Me the Breeze and have me sing it? And I'm going to be honest, it was the worst thing I've ever heard anybody do.
He had a big time, though.
But then tears rolling out of his eye on the last chorus. And I started crying. You know, I'm like, well, what am I here thinking is happening?
Are you crying because of how bad he was singing?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's his smell and but no, it was really like a situation where it taught me. It was like, dude, here I am wanting to play this original music so bad I'm denying a tear from a biker.
Yeah.
You know, like at some point put it down, play Naive Melody for heaven's sakes. Everybody wants it.
Yeah.
You know, like, and yeah, dude, sure, you know, it sucks. It really does that people don't, but I'm not Neil Young.
Yeah.
It's, you know, and that's like, there's a lot of self-assessment and self-awareness. You got to take account for that, and just, you know, drop the facade. And I think that if we do quit, like, and I do it, if I quit the battle, it's all music. It's all music. Yeah. And don't allow music business to come down and tell me how to feel about music.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, which is, there's a battle in
you're
itself,
right. Harder than it should be to do that.
But the funniest part is we're just talking about hanging out and playing music. Like all I wanted to do was to play at parties and do that. And then here it comes, and we're I'm 36 and I'm looking at it and I'm just like, dude, I just want to hang out and play.
Yeah.
Like y'all can have all of that. You know, at some point it's like, if I have to do all of that to reach a person, I'll just go and hang out in bars.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And so like, it's funny because I have to realize that the intention that I have is not the intention of the music business.
Yeah, for sure.
They're there to make money.
Definitely.
I'm here to make a difference.
Yeah.
And so you have to make peace with that. And I find that when I make peace with the situation as a whole of a musician's life, not just my musician's life, then I'm at peace with those cover bands.
Yeah.
Then I'm at peace with those tribute acts.
Yeah.
Even if I don't like it.
Yeah.
Because, dude, people are getting engaged at those shows.
For sure. And too, man, they beat us out all the time.
Yes.
They beat us out at shows all the time.
Yes.
I think that's what really people get mad about.
Yeah.
Is that like, oh, I got these people, they got it because they're just a cover band.
Yep.
But,
well, and truth be told, how many people are they pulling out?
That's the truth.
Three times as many as I am.
Exactly right, dude.
And you can hate that. You can love it. I'm trying to, in this year, take the attitude of, okay, that's not going to change what I have to do. You know? It's just like, it's live and let play.
Oh, well, you can't compare. You can only compare to like help yourself move forward or help both of you move forward.
Right.
But if you're, it's human nature to be like, you know what I mean? Growl a little bit. And I think everybody does that, deep down. But that's something you should fight against, and be like, no, they're doing their thing. They're cool.
Oh,
I'm doing my thing. It's different. It's cool.
Yeah. And I see, for example, like, a close friend of mine, Adam Stone. Adam Stone is playing in Legato. He's playing in etc. He's doing all this stuff. And as a friend, as a close friend, we talk every day or play video games or send each other something every day. And as a friend, I find myself going, well, why haven't you written that many songs? And why haven't you? And it's so interesting using somebody else's path to sharpen you rather than jade you.
Yeah.
And so, I sent a text yesterday to Adam. I was like, dude, I just want you to know that you're absolutely killing it. That's all that. There doesn't need to be anything else there.
Yeah.
You're absolutely killing it. Heck yeah. Now I'm going to get about my business. You know, it's the comparison is truly the thief of joy. And output is not input.
Yeah.
It's not.
Yeah. You're right.
1,000 hours of input, maybe a song, and that's okay too. You know? So I think what I find myself during this winter is identifying all of that stuff and then realizing how that's influenced my life.
Yeah.
How I need to get rid of those things, let go of those things, and root out how it's affected my life.
Yeah.
But that's why when you talk to truly successful, meaning at peace musicians, they're just glad to be there.
Yeah.
Because the true perspective is, dude, anybody can get inspired to write these songs.
Yeah.
How many times have you written a song and then 6 months later somebody else wrote it,
Oh, yeah.
And so it's like, it's really just a gift to be able to play it all.
Yeah.
And people are showing up at all.
Yeah, for sure.
And just the ability to do it. And I promise, if you're a musician and you're wondering, how can I get better? That mental perspective and perception and what's actually happening, that's so important.
Yeah.
But then the problem with perception and all that is substances get involved because we're musicians after all.
Yeah.
Either just the music and the ego hit of somebody, even if it's just that is intoxicating enough to throw your mind anywhere but here.
Yeah.
Right? And so it's very important to be around stable-minded musicians that are here for the long game,
Stable-minded musicians.
Okay. Fair enough.
Who are we speaking about?
musicians that understand their own crazy. There we go. At least acknowledge the fact that, hey, I need to stay vigilant, but
yeah.
Because I'm definitely not mentally stable. I mean,
I think another point or another part of one of the things that you're talking about that is important to note is that it's not easy to learn covers. It's not easy to take somebody else's thing and learn and memorize somebody else's lyrics and memorize all, especially 3 hours worth.
And then improv over it. If you're going to, right? If you're going to play it straight, that's hard. Yeah. That's the hardest thing you can do. Yeah. And then, like, seriously, playing it note for note. For example, like, I play Bobby's part. You're never going to hear me play a Bobby lick or riff or anything like that. It's not because I don't like them. It's just that's not me, And so there's, like, where if Davey were to take that attitude, you wouldn't have the Grateful Dead being played at all. So it's interesting how in different like the Mick Jagger doesn't have to Mick Jagger. But like it would be preferred. So it's like but then you have TJ Griever who could put his own spin on it, right? And be a whole new front man. And so it's like it's so fun to me seeing where people take that. It's like, are you truly gonna wear the scarf and in the shoes and do the whole AC/DC thing, or are you gonna it's always so interesting to me. My favorite are the as far as the tributes, if you find a diva that can just embody the female lead singer of who they're trying to
like some of those
Fleetwood Mac, for example,
cover bands.
What's
the name of that band, the one that played here this summer that played at Riverfront Nights, you remember? That's a Fleetwood
Rumors.
Mac. Rumors.
I thought of it right before you said it and then lost it.
Blew, the doors off that place.
And that's a husband and wife.
And
right?
they ain't got no doors.
Made door. It constructed doors and blew them off.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
But that was the biggest night of Riverfront Nights last year. I think kind of hands down.
It was 5,000 people.
It was a big night.
Yeah. Dewar came up to me and was just like raving.
It's really hard to make an argument against that. To be like, hey, now, okay, I know that they did 5,000 people, but what if?
Right. What if
Randy and the Jacklegs?
Yeah. There's no. Yeah. Yeah. So and it kind of.
I like that same band. If that same band of musicians are all great musicians,
right?
If that same band was like, let me show you our song that we wrote in the mode of Fleetwood Mac,
right?
People will be like, boo.
Well, that's and to your point, that's a husband and wife duo. I guarantee you, they tried to do original music for a long time.
Yeah, maybe so.
And a lot of people talk about, well, then how do musicians make it? They're playing churches, they're playing cover groups, they're playing private parties. Guess what they're doing? Playing covers the whole time.
Teaching lessons.
The whole teaching lessons. What are they teaching? Covers.
Yeah, covers.
It's insane because, in truth be told, it's so much easier for the non-musical mind, and this is not a judgment. Again, this is just, it's so much easier, easy, accessible, familiar. It's so much, and I get that. Like, I do understand that because from a non-musician standpoint, that seems to be the case. Well, it also is really easy for people to choose a group to fixate on, learn all their songs. It is not easy for somebody to ask themselves, what do I sound like?
Yeah.
And man, maybe there's a lot of vulnerability that people just don't want to be present for with that.
And that could just be people. Not everybody expresses their way through music, even musicians.
Right. It's like, dude, just get the songs going, man. We don't just play.
Yeah.
Just play. And so there's another energy when you were talking about what can we learn? Just play. Just play. Cover your own songs. It doesn't have to be it doesn't have to be at the same BPM or too fast. Just play it. You know, and I think that people see authenticity is a really long-term investment.
Yeah.
with music, I think,
You mean as an artist, being an authentic artist, you are setting yourself up for a long
road to hoe.
Right? A long road. Is what you're saying, right?
Because where, we could, if we were smacking, you and I could get together a,
Wait, what?
all right. If we were decided to do something together and we had energy going and we were like,
Is that what smacking is?
if we were smacking, if we were hitting,
Okay, I just
if
wasn't
we were
sure. I
hitting it, if we were, sorry.
I thought smacking was something else.
No, not this time. But if we were doing
Keep
that
trying.
and we made, turn the camera off, please. No, if we were like doing something, got it together and presented it and it was all covers and it was like, hey, we're going to be the premier so-and-so. It'd be so much easier for us to get on the road.
Oh,
We don't need
easy.
a press kit. You don't need, how many
Easy.
shows have you played? We haven't.
Yeah.
We just sound like this.
Yeah,
Oh,
here's
okay,
a video
perfect.
we made in our basement.
Dude, and so to anybody that's wondering, like, your favorite original musician has sacrificed that. It's always very cool to me to see somebody that's out there just doing their own thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Whether it's playing covers half the time, that's fine. At this point, I don't really care. Obviously, the days of supporting original, music they're kind of going away.
It's just becoming a different thing altogether.
Yeah.
I mean,
Now it's original reels. Can you write something that gets
on
me
top
for
of that,
15
there's-
seconds?
I think I saw a cartoon not too long ago that I thought was pretty funny, which was it was artists, basically like the idea of the cartoon was the artists obeying and bowing to the music business, and then AI coming through and just disregarding the artist completely.
Right.
And that's what the music business is. Like,
Yep.
this is a music business, and it's so much easier to make AI songs and put
Yep.
them out on Spotify
Yep.
than it is to listen to this guy. Okay, he's gonna be late, and
Right.
he's gonna have feelings and opinions about whatever he's
Right.
gonna record. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Right.
Whereas this is just a blank version
That's
of
right.
you say, let me have, what would it sound like to have Dire Straits and the Fat Boys play a song together? Boom, there you go. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like, this is that version of that. And that I thought that was a funny cartoon because it's like
Incredible.
something I hadn't thought of. So
Dude,
like,
disregarding-
everybody is so worried about the music business is going to do this for me, or I'm going to do this, and then as soon as these AI streams and stuff become slightly profitable, they just muted a lot of musicians right away.
Mhm. It's
I think that's part of the, like,
yeah.
why, like, if you really are, if it's about the bottom line, that's the music business. It's
Uh-huh.
about the bottom line,
Yeah.
right? You're not recording an album because you give a shit about the bottom line.
Right.
You're like, I got some things I need to say.
I'm
you
doing-
guys
yeah.
that I've been meaning to tell.
Oh man, all of the moves that I make, all the trips to Alaska, all the times that I'm recording, all the trips down to, these random places to blah 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 and to do this and to not get paid to do this. This is in direct opposition to the business, to the system.
Yeah,
It's like when I was touring on probation, every show I played was in direct protest to the judicial system. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's just the way I play. Like,
Yeah.
like you tell me what the establishment is, and I will run around it the whole time, just screaming, burn this place to the ground, And so, like, because I see there's always a bigger fish, and the music business met the AI fish.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you really want that? Oh, is that what you? Okay, well then here's the devil incarnate that you were trying to create,
Yeah.
and now you're gonna have to reap the benefits, while us good old boys that have been Southern and just traveling around the South, I'm gonna continue to do that,
Yeah.
and if that means I'm just holding space, then that's
I don't
great.
think that's what that means, though.
But what I'm saying is holding space. What I meant, and I'm not downing myself. Holding space for the next guy, just so that when some kid comes along,
Yeah.
and I'm 75 and he's 21, and he'll be like, "Hey man, I heard you were one of those guys that used to like." They said that you could just like write your own songs, and you didn't have to have the help of anything else.
Yeah.
How did you do that?
Yeah.
Like, I'm waiting for that day because that's coming.
You think so?
Like it's going out of date what we're doing, and I think that it's very important for us to hold position, not hold space, hold
Yeah,
position.
The I mean, it's such a at least in the music world, AI and AI music and all that stuff is such a big hot topic right now.
It is.
Mean, everybody.
Yeah.
But the one thing they can't do is they can't plug in a guitar and play,
That's
or plug
right.
in a banjo and
I can't play the
under
wrong
double
notes
eagle,
either.
You know.
The wrong notes are what,
I don't know. I've seen them draw hands. If they draw 6 finger hands, they're probably going.
That's literally every time I saw an AI video today, and I was like, nope. Look at the hands.
Yeah,
You know.
I got 7 fingers.
Yeah.
Pentatonic scales. Only got 5 notes. They'll
Have you
screw
seen
that up.
they've been freaking me out what they've been doing with babies now. They've been making babies talk and like have adult movements. It freaks me out. It's so unnatural. And that's what I
throw
love.
your phone in the corner and scream at it, or
Just kick my phone across. That's right. Dude, it gave me the heebie-jeebies. But I think that authenticity and the natural process is something to be absolutely listened to right now.
yeah.
Because it's what's going to set you apart.
Well, I think too that's people are coming to shows. Like I mean, I do think people are
Yeah.
coming to shows.
Yeah.
And you do get that where you're like, okay, this is real. This
Yeah.
is you do get authenticity
I
at
want-
a show.
I also want to say we're not downing the support that we're receiving. Just to have one
No, of course
person,
not, yeah.
just to have one person at my show is enough. It's not. I'm presenting the way things are, not the way it's just the way it is, and it's not necessarily that I'm downing how people think. This is the way people think,
Yeah.
and we're trying to work with it. The same way that we talk about music schedules, we're like, okay, I'm not asking for the community to do something that isn't needed, but how is it so I can move through that? So, yeah, and I think that this is a very important conversation. I'm really glad you brought it up, man.
Yeah. Well,
Like-
I just so many times I think people have the wrong attitude about
Yeah.
the tribute band and the cover band, and
Do you think that's mostly musicians that have that?
oh,
idea?
that definitely musicians.
okay.
Definitely musicians. It's
Okay.
definitely not audience members because
Yeah.
you could see that they're voting with dollar bills like left and right.
That's true.
You know?
Yeah.
And you could see it. I mean, this weekend, if you look
Mhm.
at this weekend's schedule, I think there was, when I counted up, it was like 4 of the main 7 or 8
Mhm.
venues have cover bands this
Mhm.
weekend, or tribute bands
Yeah.
playing at some point in time. I mean, there's some really cool ones actually coming to town. I'm
Yep.
really excited to see, to be honest. There's that acoustic Nirvana tribute band that's going to be playing at the Woodshop at the end
Yo,
of the month or something
okay.
like that. I think that'll be cool.
And they just did the Sun Records at the Sun Records tribute.
Yeah.
That was cool. At
But I mean,
Woodshop.
I think like if you want to hear like a cool cover band,
Yeah.
Barrel House Songbirds.
Barrel
those-
House Songbirds.
They're nailing them there pretty
Yeah.
much.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, I guess just because it gets such a bad, so many musicians talk so bad about being in cover bands,
Yeah.
and then so many of those same musicians end up in cover bands. It's hilarious.
It's me. I'm guilty.
Yeah.
And it has no, like, I was incorrect in my perception of what was going on, and I didn't realize that my ego was getting in the way of me changing somebody's life with somebody else's music.
Yeah, yeah. Or just introducing that music to somebody. I can't tell you how many times somebody
Dude,
has said, I really love that Mountain Annie song.
especially with bluegrass. Yeah, man.
I love that song.
Yeah.
How'd you write that? And I'm
Right.
like, oh, that's a band called Fruition. I
Right.
didn't write that. But it's a contemporary band that's out playing. You can go see them play right now.
That's
Go
it.
check them out. That rule.
Fruition's good. They did a bunch of late night shows at in Nashville back in the day.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, really good band.
Yeah,
and
that's a
and
great
that's
band.
another thing. That's another thing. That's another thing. Here's another thing. Jerry Garcia and the Grateful Dead were a cover band. They played Bob Dylan. They played all of these. They made money off of other people's music in a live setting. They filled time.
Yeah.
They were playing. And that's how you get to show people, hey, we really like this guy and we believe that you should like him too. And here's an idea. Like Blaze Foley at a Billy String show. Blaze Foley, those cats, nobody would have known who Blaze Foley is.
Yeah.
Nobody. But then he's turning thousands of, those guys are giving people their careers back.
Yeah, for sure.
Right? And so it's like before you knock being a cover band, what you're doing is you're saying that the lives of the people whose music we're playing didn't matter, essentially. And it's like, just realize what we're doing.
That's a
here.
little dramatic.
Yeah,
Joel.
it is. It is. I'll admit that. That's fine. But in the sense of like, I think it's almost saying, hey man, that guy should be playing that music. It's like, hey man, that should be feeding his kids.
Yeah,
We shouldn't be
yeah,
feed. And it's like, dude,
yeah.
we're just doing what we can.
Everybody's doing
we
what
would,
they can.
every single musician that I know would rather play their own music.
Yeah, I think so. I agree.
Every
I
single.
think that's yeah.
Now there are 20% of musicians that I know. There's a Tom Petty group out there that my boy, this in the Southern accents in Nashville, was born to be Tom Petty.
Yeah.
Like he was just born to be that guy. And there are some people that are that way.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, reincarnations do exist. I believe
Really?
with all my heart that I saw Jimi Hendrix, you know, reincarnate.
Oh, really? Where
There's a group, and
Please
I forget,
tell me it was somewhere cool where you saw him reincarnated.
It really was. It was in Atlanta. We were playing a cover group. I was playing guitar in a Janis Joplin group with Jess Goggins.
Mm-hmm.
And then we opened for this guy, and he walks by me, and I'm like, I like got chills. I said, wait, is that Jimi Hendrix? And the guy just kind of like saying it to the drummer, and he was like, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And the way he said it, he was like, man, it gets pretty weird.
Yeah.
And so I believe there are people that just like showed up, and it's like that's just what made sense to them, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'd hate that for, you know, people. I kind of feel bad that way about Jerry guys, you know. People put him on a pedestal and are super critiquey about Jerry Garcia people, which is why, like, my friend Davey, the first thing I did, I was just like, dude, you sound like you.
Yeah.
You know, I wanted him to know that. Don't get lost in the facade of what people put pressure from other people on you. You know? It's great.
Davey's I think Dave would be a perfect one to have this conversation with too, because he's been involved in covers for so long, still such a great musician, and really is doing. Davey's really focusing on being a musician.
That's right.
You know, like that's what's cool.
He's recording
about
his own stuff right now, actually.
Yeah, and he's constantly. It's not just I'm going to go play shows. Look at me, and that's it. He's doing He's doing lessons. He's doing whatever he can do. He's doing podcasts. He's doing his live streams. He's playing music every day or doing something in music every day to try to get along. You know what I mean?
Well,
just
I'm
to try
not.
to get by.
I'm not gonna put words in his mouth, nor am I gonna say things that he said to me in private. But I will say, because I'm trying to be careful about what I say. What he said to me about the Grateful Dead thing was that it came out of what was working on his YouTube page.
Yeah.
People didn't want to hear his live music. They didn't want to hear it. They wanted to learn how to play Jerry Garcia. And he realized that he had the ability to do that. And needed to feed his family. And did that. And it turned out to be really good.
It is good.
It's
great, man.
Turned out to be, in my opinion, he is my generation's Jerry. There is no other person that I know that's my age doing it at that depth.
Yeah.
You know?
But I think just with his stuff, just as an instructor, just as someone who's as a beacon, who's really pushing forward or pushing that music out as much as he can, he makes it accessible. He makes it easy for people who are guitar players or who are like, hey, I want to learn a couple songs, and then all of a sudden you're like, guess what, man? I just learned 8 Grateful Dead songs, and they're all cool.
When I needed to learn Terrapin,
oh yeah, if you need,
I went on YouTube.
Yeah.
You looked up Davey.
Yeah, go to Davey's page for sure. Yeah.
Anytime we're learning something for Dead Monday, I like it. It makes me laugh because I watch Davey for 3 hours and then I go see him and play with him for 3 hours, and so it's out of necessity that we have these things, because when you do it first or it succeeds accidentally and then you do it.
Yeah.
You know, and so I think you can just look to the proof is literally in the pudding right there. And I think that just kind of giving the proper perspective to the tribute and cover band is just absolutely necessary to what we're doing right here, you know?
Yeah.
Because I think that out of all the podcasts we have done, that this will probably get the most conversation.
Yeah, maybe so.
It's a pretty big split decision, you know? And it's something that I see a lot of guys in their 20s being very hardline on.
You think so? Really?
I very much do.
Cover band, all that stuff is...
Oh, on original music. I'm over here playing original music. Okay. I love that.
Yeah.
I did that for 8 years only, specifically. And then I turned 30 and realized, like, well, at some point, $16 a week isn't going to feed me
Yeah.
at some point. You know?
Yeah.
So
You think, because I don't know, like the idea that music is an avenue to feed your family, do you think that's going away? Like, you're a musician. Do you think in 5 years from now you'd be able to, like, I wouldn't say comfortably because I don't think you can comfortably do it
right.
anyway, but like, raise a kid or support any kind of family at all?
No. If no, that's why I don't have a family. I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Like dead serious. Like this gets really personal, but I would have kids if I wasn't a musician.
Really?
Yeah, I'm a family man.
Yeah.
I was born to raise children.
Yeah.
But I can't afford it.
Yeah.
I can't afford to pay rent playing music.
Yeah.
I have to do other things.
Yeah,
I have to paint houses. You see me selling jerky, dog.
Yeah.
That's me
Doing what you can
humbling myself
Yeah.
and saying to my community,
do. Yeah. Please.
do you really think that
Yeah.
I'd be doing this if no, I wouldn't.
Yeah. You don't have a passion for jerky?
Right. It's like people, it's so funny, man. It's like what we have to do, man. Like I'm over here, people think, when I go to Alaska, I'm painting a house for 75% of the time I'm there.
Oh, yeah.
Like I'm inside of, looking out,
Yeah.
and, so what we have to do, man, it's totally unpractical. And what I really want to give a shout out to are all the people not complaining.
That's true. Yeah.
Because, man, I can name you about 20 dudes that I think have the best hand. That have the best ability to play the game and have gotten dealt some weird hands.
Yeah.
And I think that's just the music industry, man.
Yeah.
It breaks my heart, but at the same time, it also drives me. It's a masochistic.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. The deals never end.
Never.
They're like, all right, deal me in again.
Yeah. Because I can always fold.
Yeah. All right, deal me in again.
Doesn't cost anything to fold.
Yeah.
Because that's the Danimal shared a video yesterday, and music is the one drug that gave us the most that will quit first. The music business and the because of the music business and everything. That was one of the parts that the video said. It was like, it has given you the most. It is the one thing that you've dedicated your life to that's given you the most, and you're going to quit it.
Yeah.
It just doesn't make sense. So,
Bet people quit music?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
And music isn't, also valued.
That's a whole nother thing.
Yeah. Music.
Have you ever thought about quitting?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's interesting.
It's really
I figured
funny.
you would say no.
No, it's really. I'll entertain anything, man, because I want to be honest. Like, because I realized at the age of 28 that I'd never thought about it.
Yeah.
It just never occurred to me.
Yeah.
And I was like, Joel, you need to know that you can quit.
Mm-hmm.
You need to know that all of this can go away.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, you can just do something else.
And that in turn made me more grateful for our lifestyle and what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Because the capitalism and our cultural system does not support the artist having a life monetarily.
Yeah.
It doesn't. And heck yeah, then what that means is if you're still doing it, you've earned it.
Yeah.
And I really like that too. But in the end, it's about us doing what we got to do to feed our family, And like you said, or lack thereof, because you can't feed a family.
Yeah.
So, you'd see a bunch of kids running around here if I was being successful.
Well, times, it's never too late.
And it goes back to what somebody said on Christmas in my family. They said, "Oh, so you want to be famous?" I said, "No, I just want to be influential."
Yeah.
That's it. Because, yeah, dude, like I want to touch. I want to touch people.
I know what you mean. I get the joke, but I know.
Yeah,
what you mean.
I want to like literally be behind the cultural movement of music that I'm going to be a part of.
Yeah.
I want to empower people. I want people to not know where it came from. I want it to be so, so the reason why I'm saying that is because if we live in a system that doesn't support me monetarily, then I need to have non-monetary goals.
Yeah. That's a key point.
You see what I'm
in
saying?
music, Yeah.
Like, so I want to be influential. I want to be, I don't have ambition. I have aspiration, and that's a Bruce quote. It's like ambition is pure ego and empire. Aspiration is, man, I feel driven by my community to come into this role and hold position and believe, but yeah.
Well, I wanted to do all this because I want to announce my new cover bluegrass band.
There we go.
No, just kidding.
Yeah, I love it.
Well, this is a good talk.
I love it.
I mean, I really think there's very much more to add to that conversation until somebody puts a comment down below, which I'm sure is going to happen, hopefully.
Absolutely.
So please feel free. Let us know what we missed or what we're not thinking or what we're not, where is our thinking bad? We don't know everything. We definitely know that. So please feel free. Let us know. All right. Good seeing you, brother.
Man, good to see you too.
Yep.
Hope y'all have a great week too.
See ya.
Enjoy it.